this video, we're going to explain the eye and reflex art while I speedrun Minecraft. We built these massive models of the eye and reflex art for educational purposes. This took a crazy long time and was insane. Also, according to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, be sure to subscribe, it's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Enjoy the video. Wait!
Humans have the most complex body structure out of any living creature. Did you know that the human brain is more complicated than the entire body of 97.6% of living creatures? Since the dawn of mankind, scientists have been researching upon how a single species of primate managed to take over the world by evolving just one of their organs. On this particular episode, we'll be diving deep into the wondrous world of the human eye and reflex arc. This will be a calming yet fascinating journey, so sit back and relax.
I present to you the outermost transparent layer of the human eye, the conjunctiva.
But what does it do?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The conjunctiva is a thin, transparent mucous membrane that lines the exposed portion of the eyeball and inner surface of the eyelid. It is always kept moist by a fluid in the tear gland. It contains the lysozyme, which is able to kill bacteria. By blinking, the fluid will be across your eye.
After the conjunctiva, we have the transparent lens called the cornea that refracts the light as it enters the eye.
Along with the cornea, the white protective coat called the sclera makes up the outer layer of the eye.
Then there's a circular piece of tissue called an iris. It contains pigments that absorb light and help stop it from getting to the retina. In the middle of the iris, there is a hole called the pupil which allows light to enter the eye. The size and diameter of it is adjustable to control the amount of light entering the eye. It is adjusted by the circular muscles and radial muscles in the iris. This is called the iris reflex. When the circular muscles contract and the radial muscles relax, the pupil constricts and less light enters the eye. When the radial muscles contract and the circular muscle relax, the pupil dilates and more light enters the eye.
Over here we have the lens, a transparent disc that works together with the cornea to focus light onto the retina. While cornea bends the light, the lens changes its shape to make fine adjustments to the bending of the light.
Give me fish. Give me fish. Ivan.
The lens is held in place by suspensory ligaments. The tension on the ligament are altered by the ciliary muscles, which helps to adjust the shape of the lens. Besides that, there is also an aqueous humor that nourishes the lens with salt.
At the back, we have the retina. It contains receptor cells that transmit electrical impulses along the sensory neuron, called the optic nerve, to the brain when light falls on them. However, there are no receptors where the optic nerve leaves the retina. This part is called the blind spot, as no impulses will be sent to the brain if light falls on this part. The part of the retina where receptors are packed most closely is the fovea. This is where light is most focused, as it provides the clearest image of an object that the brain can get.
Behind the retina is a black layer called the choroid. Its black color allows it to absorb all the light after it has been through the retina, so it does not scatter around in the eye. It is also rich in blood vessels and nourishes the eye.
Next up, we have the reflex arc, the nerve impulse pathway involved in the reflex action. The sensory neuron, relay neurons, and motor neuron make up this pathway. A sensory neuron has an axon that branches off to a cell body in the middle and dendrites at the end. Relay neurons have cell bodies that are surrounded with a network of short branching dendrites. Motor neurons have long axons with a cell body located at the end with long dendrites branching off it.
When an impulse such as heat is detected, it is picked up by the sensory receptors in your skin. It is then carried by a sensory neuron which sends impulses to the relay neuron in the spinal cord. The relay neurons then relay their impulse to the brain and muscles. The impulse travels to the muscle along the axon of a motor neuron which causes the muscle to contract and pull away from the heat source. This reaction is called reflex action. Your brain is aware of it, but you only become aware of it after the impulse is sent to your muscles. These reflexes are automatic and rapid, quicker than any other type of nervous response, making it a safety mechanism that minimizes the damage done to the body.
Pog champ, pog champ, pog champ.
Poggers.